go look at this thing.
Look! Such fierce flames.
Such fierce flames.
Though I wish
How did you survive?
the Orthodoxy lay siege, yet would accept no surrender. But as the flames began to lick betrayed by the precepts I believed in, was I not amid such despair? Nay, I heard a voice. Accept me, and I shall grant life everlasting. Though
Who
it
got
shall
inside
be
you?
grief, thou shalt have all eternity to wreak vengeance upon thine enemies.
I'm glad I don't have to go to bed for some time.
Did I forge a dark pact with some fiendish entity that day? Panicked upon failing to... Thus have I been living.
So you're a vampire.
Vampire Castle is...
Not a misnomer.
A lie that has been perpetrated. Though it is true I am immortal, I am no vampire. I find the smell of blood too revolting to ever drink it. Having said that, I have done naught. My ability to transform myself into a bat. And tell me, O Vestal of the... What does the Crystal Orthodoxy have to...
He chose the second Grand Patriarch and prayed for peace in the West.
Passed peacefully from this world?
What do you mean?
The first Grand Patriarch was assassinated, along with his Archbishop.
I'm guessing you're the one who assassinated them.
The assassin himself tells you this.
Yeah, go figure, you're the one who killed him.
Other truth. That was when I forsook this land. Soon after, sightings of the I became a veritable Duke of Dark. I was the enemy of man. And after some 500 years, a fateful encounter with one whom you all know well.
I bet Yolana.
No.
I bet it's Yolana. I bet he came into contact with Yolana because Yolana's already old as it is. So it wouldn't be a shock if it was Yolana. He is pretty decrepit as it is. Also kind of a perv. While we're running through this game, I will say this for everyone on YouTube who's watching this later on, and everyone who's watching the Twitch stream now. If you have not followed me, and you like what we do here, we play a little bit of everything here. Go ahead and, if you like it, subscribe or follow or whatever you have to do. There's a Twitch account down there someplace. There's the YouTube subscription. There's Twitch following. If you like what we do here and want to chip in some money, there's bits. And I know for Prime Day right now, every 10 bits you do, they throw in an extra 1. So if you do 100 bits, they give 10. You do 1,000 bits, they give an extra 100. And that's all donated to the streamer themselves through Amazon's pocket, basically. Amazon's paying the streamer an extra 10% on top of whatever you give the streamer through bits. That's going on for the next couple days. They're hoping to reach 16 million bits. Last I checked, they were like 4. So there's 3 days till Prime Day from when this is recorded. Won't really matter to people on YouTube because you won't see this for some time. And if you like what we do, consider subscribing. So there's my spill. It's done. I'm at 4 hours. I had to do my spill.
A battlefield landscape?
It represents the long and hard-fought war between the Orthodoxy and we denizens of for 500 years. It had also been 500 years since the Orthodoxy had been founded. Compared to the great exchange of ideas, the authority of the Grand Patriarch...
So, how did we get to the point we're at?
This led to the unusual decision...
Yep, there we are.
...the commoner, the gifted young Yuliana, for an important task.
Yuliana.
Yuliana? Sage Yuliana?
Yes, indeed. At age 20, the young...
Thank you for the follow, the original hum.
Inquisitor of the Crystal Orthodoxy.
It's hard to believe he ever was young.
We do play a little bit of everything here, from JRPGs to every kind of game you can imagine. There's no game outside of the ban list that we will not play, so we'll slowly get there.
In the several decades that saw him age, I cannot count the number of times we have crossed swords, he and I. In the great battle waged on the Karka Plain, the might of our clashing forces rent the very earth into a vast rift.
Okay.
You mean the rift under Ison Bridge?
In the battle at the foot of Mount Fragmentum, our armies smoked the mountain to its very roots.
So that's how that ravine was created.
And in the battle fought on the Harina Plain, the once fertile earth was reduced to desolation.
That explains the desert.
The loss of that fertile plain is believed to have ushered in the downfall of the Harina dynasty.
You fought so hard.
Changed the face of the earth so.
You fought so
We
hard
fought
you
our
made a
final
desert.
battle 1800 years ago on the Norende Heights in the land of Kaldisla.
The Norende Heights? That's where the Great Chasm opened up!
In the end, Yuliana, High Inquisitor of the Crystal Orthodoxy, utterly defeated me. Lord De Rosso, leader of the Shadow.
You were defeated? But you're here with us today.
That doesn't mean he killed him.
Yes, well, there was more to that final battle. You see, I ceded the glory of victory to young Yuliana that day. I say young in my reckoning, for he was already 100 then. Yuliana returned triumphantly to Eternia with what he claimed to be my remains. What he brought them was... And when the Templar attacked the head temple 15 years past, it is said they found my tomb deep underground. Ever dreading the darkness and my return, the Orthodoxy kept those duplicitous remains under arcane seal for over 1,000 years. 'Tis a tale replete with...
I mean, take it as you will. Guy's got some balls for what he did. Can I fight this guy yet? We're at 6F already. I'm getting sick and tired of climbing this, like, this mansion. And I know there's supposed to be, like, battles going on all the way up here. But still, even just running up here is annoying.
That is Saint Juliana.
Yes, indeed. No one would mistake such a man for young now. Having put down the blood-sucking Lord De Rosso, bane of the Crystal Orthodoxy, perhaps it was a small honor they threw his way, for he was already...
I mean, young, quote-unquote young.
Not long counting
101, young.
That makes it sound despicable.
How did he live so long?
The truth is, however, that was when Yuliana's plot was...
The sage's plot?
He was taking measures to separate you Vestals and the faithful among the people from the Orthodox.
I mean, smart dude.
After serving some 80 years, he should nothing be done. It would not. So it was he vowed to rid the Orthodoxy of the source of this poison, the concentration of power.
He was doing what he could?
For the great feat of defeating me, Yuliana had been made Archbishop, but in timing was the key.
And just...
The great upthrust of the Eternian Highlands. At the time, the Highlands were but a colossal movement of earth and rock.
Hold on a moment. He was waiting for the Earth to move? How could he have known when such an event would take place?
I shall tell you in time. For now, I will say this. Yuliana bided his time till the Orthodoxy was cut off from the world.
And then he forced all of the different people to go along their separate ways, basically.
The Orthodoxy ruled Eternia, now found itself, and while the Earth control of the crystals of five, this, what you believe to be the true form of crystalism, is the fruit.
So he basically screwed an entire religion together.
What was the sages doing?
He basically created an entire religion to what it is considered nowadays by just waiting for an earthquake. And he knew the earthquake was coming anyway, so it's fine. Oh, finally, 7F. Took forever to get to this point.
What is that glowing jewel-like object? I could swear I've seen something like that before.
I believe you have seen a similar sight countless times. It is known as an asterisk.
An asterisk?
As we wear these
As in those
costumes.
objects we possess?
Yes, indeed. The second stage in Yuliana's plot against the Orthodoxy's authority was to deprive them of the power to grant vocations.
Grant vocations? I'm afraid I don't follow.
They gave people jobs.
Before Yuliana intervened, special approval was required to change vocations. In this way, the institution grew.
Oh, so the Orthodoxy.
Oh, so it's the Catholic Church. It's literally the Catholic Church.
In layman's terms, yeah, it was then that
Wait a minute,
Yuliana
so
approached panicked high officials and
if I'm getting this
Patriarch
right,
himself with a proposal.
the church was making people pay them to change jobs, and Yuliana basically told them to shove off. It's the Catholic Church.
Overseen by the Orthodoxy. Those who sought such vocations would apply to the Orthodoxy and
Wow, it is the Catholic Church.
Anyone with the
That's no different from the old system where people...
no different indeed. But the Grand Patriarch, hence they accepted Yuliana's proposal without question, even appointing.
I fail to see how that...
Well, it did far more than you would guess, for he was the only one who knew how.
Why that what?
So it was Yuliana robbed the Orthodoxy of its authority.
Thank you for the $10.
And took it for himself.
Keep up the good work and content. Thank you for the $10. You didn't have to, but thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yuliana transfer the proceeds to their coffers?
Yuliana was long gone, abandoning the seat of Archbishop.
You're gonna make me stay up, aren't you?
with his knowledge of the
But thank you all the
Asterisk.
same. It means a lot to
He
me.
also took arms and armor the Orthodoxy had seized from around the world. Items, he took them all and sealed them away in a hidden location. They now lie secreted away against the day the Orthodoxy's tyranny or some other impending doom threatens the people. He then hid himself in Yuliana Woods
So
until those who knew him reached the
this guy
end of their
basically played everyone and then disappeared.
But that did not take long. I had always believed the crystal.
He told everyone to go do these things and then left them,
I
basically.
returned to my homeland of Eternia after a 700 year, where my family's castle once stood. I built a fortress of. Meanwhile, Yuliana retired to that land to tend to the Vestals.
Say, Julian.
Smart dude. Smart dude, not gonna lie. Dude knew what was up. Okay, we're gonna save so we don't ever have to do this ever again. I wanna go look at the painting. Let me look at the
I
painting.
commend you for me.
Oh, no more paintings?
The final painting lies beyond this throne. I shall reveal it to you if you defeat me.
Oh boy, here we go.
What?
The last test is a test of strength. I shall only reveal the painting to those whom I deem worthy.
That
One
I
may
deem
also
worthy.
say that there is no need for those who. But be forewarned.
Yeah, let's do battle. Why not? Let's do some battle. Okay, well, his weakness is light. We have nothing that does light, so we're just gonna have no BP whatsoever to fight him. Have no BP and fight him. That's what we're gonna do. He has a physical attack of 270. He has a physical a magic attack of 120. Well, let's see how this goes. 891. So about 1,000 per. This is gonna be a long battle. This is gonna be a really long battle. Oh yeah, his story took forever to tell. I like how it basically ignored the fact that they did something different there. See if this has any more fire damage to him. Let's do blizzard damage. Is he floating? Yeah, his story took forever to tell. Shockingly, not that bad. Not that bad of a battle. Blizzard actually does pretty well. Yeah, Blizzard actually takes away 900 each time, so it's fine. It's actually okay. 700 and 900. This is going to be a tedious battle. That's all it's going to be. So Idea is master of everything up to this chapter. Well, everything up to the last chapter. She's the master of everything up to that chapter. So it's not like she doesn't have any extra stuff. It's just that, like, I haven't done anything with her. Idea's the one that has everything on her. And even she's doing weak damage. Oh, we're at 57,000. Well, his physical defense is higher than his magic defense. I mean, I could have done that. But I'm closer to defeating him, so it's fine. I'm keeping about on track with where his damage is. I know about where his damage is right now. I mean, I can do that, but I've already maxed them out. Still at 49,000. That's the worst it's at right now. Okay, well... I figure right now we're at... He takes 150,000. And we do about 16,000 damage every single turn we do. So eventually, we're gonna have to do enough damage to actually kill him. And he never braves, so it's fine. Well, he never defaults. He definitely braves. So he should either be dead in the next... Probably the next 3 turns he'll be dead. No, Battle Thirst, what it does is that BP... So every time that I brave... Every time that I brave, it adds a point. Or it takes away a point from our attack value. He's stealing one of those points away from us. It requires BP for us to do an attack. So you see how it says -1? It says -1 right here. So what that is that's BP. So I can do that and get -2. So we're at -1 right now. So he's taking one of those from us. He's getting no health from it. He will be in the... He'll probably be dead in the next couple turns, so... Probably in this turn or the next. If I had to hazard a guess. Oh man, we're at 25,000. We're at 25,000 on yes. And of course he's going to take from Adia because Adia has the highest stats out of all my people. Of course you take it from Adia. Come on, do this. I kind of want him to be done real soon. There he goes.
How can this be? The immortal Lester De Rosso has been defeated?
Yep. And that was the last sub-scenario for this section of the game. That was the only sub-scenario for this chapter. And we get the vampire asterisk. Let's look at our sweet costumes. Look at us. We look pretty sweet. Also, I want to point out the girls' outfits is adorable. If it will ever stop long enough for me to look at the girls' outfits, they're adorable. Vampire. Absorbing stats and abilities when attacking. Learns the abilities of monsters. Favors daggers, rods, and staves. Specialty, Genome Drain. Job command, Vampirism. Enjoy that information.
I am a man of my word. Behold, the final painting.
The final painting. Let's talk to him again.
This painting.
It is the angel descended from the heavens during my final battle against Juliana.
An angel?
When we last did battle 1800 years ago, the battle raged 100 days. The mountains of Norende rent asunder. Knowing the battle was reaching its end, I mustered the last of my strength to cast my greatest of spells. As my final attack surged forth, the angel did descend from the skies over Norende.
Well, that's a thing.
Are you sure it was an angel?
Verily so, for there are no other words to describe her.
I like how both him and Yolanda were like, that's a thing up there.
Captivated. Before we realized it, but the angel lost her light. Her wings were shattered and her body, when she came to her senses, she trembled with fear.
What appeal? What did the angel say?
Here, she passed from this world. She slipped in and out of consciousness over many a day. In between ever-growing periods of unconsciousness, it was all she could do to mutter incoherent. A trapped most vile, such a fool am I, the warriors of light, if it's not too late. These she would repeat over and over. When she did come to her senses, she would speak of the calamity that had befallen her. She spoke of how Luxembourg was on the brink of doom, and spoke with precision of the events that has heralded its coming. She herself was surprised to find that she knew of details of our past, and events of the future as well. The struggle between the old faith and orthodoxy. The tragedy that would befall my...
The distant future.
Yes, for the angel spoke of events that have not. She told of a bringer of evil who would appear in the guise of one friendly to the Vestals and seduce them.
I wonder who she could be who we could be talking about.
This evil one would destroy Luxembourg by piercing the boundary that protects this world. And the opening of a great rift that sunders the earth shall herald its coming.
Great
The angel told of many other omens ere the great chasm would open. The light of earth shall raise up the north, and a deathly plague shall cover all the lands. Then shall a great rift rend the earth. She then entrusted me with a certain task, one that only an immortal such as I could fulfill.
What sort of task could only...
That I cannot say, but thereupon she quietly... For 3 days and 3 nights, my former mortal enemy Juliana and I spoke of what had transpired. Ultimately, we vowed to join forces to
I like how they were fighting forever. They hated each other. And they're like, oh yeah, she needs us, so. Forget what they actually, like, promised each other. There we go.
Lord De Rosso, there is one last matter I fail to understand.
Why Juliana and I forgave the rebel Templar, even rendering him aid?
Yes.
Juliana and I conspired in a masquerade. He rose through the Orthodoxy's... That was when the first of the Angel's omens came to be. The land's ringing Eternia began to rise. While the second omen, the plague, had not yet come to pass, So did 1,700 years pass in relative peace, save for a handful of suspicious... It was not till 30 years ago that the omens returned as if out of legend. First, the land's ringing Eternia began to rise once more. 10 years later, the Great Plague struck, whereupon I knew the Great Chasm was coming. It was then that we began our preparations to
I like how
strike.
these people have, like, been
It was
preparing
evident
for
from this
thousands
series
of years
events
now.
that the crystals were in. Before the appearance of the Great Chasm, we would assault the temples and seize the crystals. I entrusted the task to the Templar, a former cleric of the Orthodoxy. He was also to lead the newly mustered host. While far from infallible, that was the best response I could manage for the coming of the Great. But I
So we
was
beat this
soon
guy just to
faced
get all
with
this
another
information.
problem, for the Orthodoxy began.
The grand ritual? But that is forbidden. It raises the energy long accumulated within a crystal to a cataclysmic level.
Indeed, and the Templar feared the heavy toll it would exact upon the crystal. He counseled us to dispatch our forces to the head temple, were we to overlook the grand ritual and focus upon the coming Great Chasm? Or was the Templar and I could not agree, and so it was.
That is why my father did what he did.
To prevent the end of the world.
As I have said before, the Templar is not the sort to send troops. We threw our backing behind the Templar-led forces, and though the one we bet, that is perhaps but a small link.
That word is going to become very important real quickly. Link. The word link. A link in everything. Let's grab our teleport out of here. Let's get ourselves out of this place.